Hey everybody, I want to talk about one of my favorite New York movies and certainly my favorite cop movie, The French Connection from 1971. It brings back the grittier but no less exciting city of my youth, New York City in the 70s. Oh my goodness. I see all these familiar sights from my younger days. The old Roosevelt Hotel on 45th Street, the Lady Madonna maternity boutique on Madison Avenue, which I used to pass back and forth on my way to school. French Connection is based on a true story. This actually happened. It's about an obsessed narcotics detective. Now, the real narcotics detective was Popeye Egan, Eddie Egan, who's known as Popeye. Here, it's Popeye Jimmy Doyle, who tracks a heroin shipment from France. Nobody believes this heroin shipment is coming in. He believes it, and he goes out to prove it. They cast Gene Hackman as Popeye Doyle, and as a result, he became an overnight star. You might remember him from Bonnie and Clyde. He'd done a lot of good movies. He was in supporting roles, but after this, he would always be a star. Same with Roy Scheider, who's on hand playing Popeye's partner, Buddy Russo. His star also rose. 4 years later, he'd be Chief Brody in Jaws. So there's this really famous line in French Connection where Popeye is rousting a bad guy, and he's yelling at him. He's going, "Hey, you been picking your toes on Poughkeepsie? Huh? You been picking your toes?" Everybody at the time was saying, "What does that mean? Is that a drug reference?" Well, it turns out the real Popeye, Eddie Egan, had said, no, I use that as a line just to throw the bad guys off kilter so they don't know what's going on, and then we ask them the real questions, and they're more apt to answer. The film was shot in a documentary style on a very tight budget. It was very reminiscent of the French New Wave. William Friedkin was obsessed with that, so he knew exactly what he wanted. French Connection won Best Picture at the Oscars, as well as statuettes for Gene Hackman as Best Actor, William Friedkin as Best Director, and Ernest Tidyman for Best Screenplay. Highlights gotta be when Popeye is chasing the French hitman on an elevated subway train. So he's below in a car going at high speed, chasing this train above. The scene, very dangerous, not authorized by the city, pulled off with a few off-duty cops, including Popeye Eddie Egan, I'm sure, and one fearless stunt driver. I think it's the best chase sequence ever captured on film. Bullet with Steve McQueen is a close second. Anyway, all these years later, The French Connection will blow you away.